it stands for 410 supercharged horsepower. What a machine! Oh, good lord. And the pedal placement is sublime. Listen to this one more time. Slow it right down so we can all concentrate on what's about to be said, because I'm going to start this from a totally different angle that I normally approach these videos from. So back in March I was at the 2019 Geneva Motor Show. It was always somewhat of a highlight of the year for any car enthusiast. Well, I said I was about to slow it down so we can all take on board what was to be said, but this thing is so engaging and so fun. What a ridiculously cool thing. Sorry. Yes, let's go back. 2019 Geneva Motor Show in March. Wonderful event for petrol heads worldwide. However, as I was walking around that show, this common reoccurring theme began to unfold itself. And that was, there was no realistically aspirational driver's cars. What I mean by that is, there was no shortage of supercars, which is all well and good, but it was brand after brand were launching and dropping multi-million pound cars as if it was no thing, or in the very least cars which were starting at £250,000 and upwards seemed to be the entry point for if you wanted a car with fairly decent performance. And the problem with it all was everyone was chasing headline figures, particularly in the electric car world. It seems that the party trick of electric cars is, look how fast this thing is. Cool. But these things wear number plates. It was all big, big, big. Big horsepower, big downforce, big expense. And it's all very cool to see. But there's a very, very small amount of people that can realistically get into those kinds of cars. And even when they do, in what scenario are we really going to exploit an 800, 900, 1000 horsepower supercar? And that brings me back round to something I just said. Realistically aspirational. This car, dare I say it, might just be the very embodiment of what the industry is crying out for right now. And so that's what brings me round to why I'm so excited to be in this car, and why I think, if anything, Lotus is about to come full circle in terms of the ethos of their brand being more important than ever. Lightweight, subjectively affordable, certainly for the performance and fun that this car offers, and its breadth of ability. I mean, I'm having great fun on the road, but man, take this thing on the track. I mean, this is the other great thing about cars which are lightweight. They don't destroy components. All of these big horsepower, big downforce cars, yes, they're quick, but they destroy tires and they eat brakes, and then it's more money. Whereas with this thing, you could lap all day. I mean, good luck to you if you were to get through the brakes and the tyres on this car. You could do it, but it'd take some scrubbing, I tell you. It'd take some real work to eat through this thing, because at 1,100 kilograms, everything is friendly. And listen to it. Now, don't get me wrong, the Exige 410, still beginning at £80,000, a lot of money. But for what this thing offers, I mean, it is supercar performance. It truly is supercar performance with wonderful balance. The chassis on these things, Lotus really have always been famous for having insanely good chassis. This is the pinnacle. It's absolutely exceptional. The damping of it is wonderful. I'm skipping over all of these lumps and bumps on this typically terrible British B road, and it's great. There is this cliche saying when it comes to sports cars and supercars that it is like a go-kart for the road. Listen to me. This thing is the embodiment of that statement. But less of the thought-provoking statements. How does this thing drive? Well, oh my god, the pedal placement is amazing. I mean, this is a cliche thing to say about Lotus, but chassis balance is amazing. The damping is spot on. It's still playful. It does skip over for the bumps, but not in a way that is harsh. It skips over it in a very playful way. Steering feel, well, everybody needs to take note. I'm not actually sure this has power-assisted steering. Certainly when you set off from standstill, the weight through the wheel is super heavy, so I assume there is no power steering, but it's so light that you don't need it. And then when you do get up to speed, it is pure steering weight. It's just organic, natural, real feel. I mean, you feel individual pebbles through this thing. And then there's the engine. 410 supercharged horsepower, throttle response as a result, just immediate. It sounds ridiculous. Now, the valves on the exhaust open up around about 4,000 RPM. Good if you want to be sociable, because when you're cruising around, this is 3,500, totally fine. 4, 3, 4. But for me, I would like the valves to open just a little bit earlier. This is, after all, a sports car with supercar performance. What you want is a little bit more theatre. It's there for you, but I'd like it to open up just a little bit earlier. Historically, the build quality of Lotuses was never necessarily anything to celebrate. But I've got to tell you, things have come a long way. I mean, not only are the materials in here just leagues ahead of where they were, the Alcantara quality is great, the stitch quality is amazing, but also the open link gearbox is a work of art. I mean, that could be out of a Pagani. Look at it. It's just beautiful. You can see all of the linkages working in your gearbox. It is a stunning bit of engineering. Yeah, it's awesome. It's great fun. It's really, really great fun. What I would love to see from Lotus is them going all in on this formula. Now, while I absolutely love this car, wouldn't it be awesome to see the next generation of lightweight driver's car from, let's face it, the pioneers of the game? If they did a 2020 Exige, something new, something cool, revised styling, it'd be so awesome. And look, 80 grand's 80 grand, but I'm sure on the pre-owned market, these aren't doing too badly. And what I said at the beginning of this is not easily achievable, realistically aspirational. It's not £250,000, but it gives you not far off a similar driving enjoyment. And the wearables, the consumables on this, the tyres, the brakes, the fuel, it's so light, it just gets on with it. So there we have it, a slightly different take on a slightly different car. I haven't driven a Lotus for about 3 years, and when I did, it was a very short drive, and I didn't really have time to soak it up and absorb what this car was all about. But right now, as mentioned, I think this car is as important and poignant as ever, and I would love to hear your thoughts and comments below as to where you think the future of sports cars should head and what you would like to see from Lotus in the future. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ciao!